All right, we're live. So normally I do my end of the day recap, and tonight's different because here's Annie, the
Hi.
magical, amazing human being she is.
In my PJs. Here I am, everyone. Nice to see you.
PJs are acceptable. It's the end of the day, so we're good.
Yeah. we- So this week,
So
huh?
this week, yeah, this week's been an interesting week. It's been all over the place. Um, there's been good moments. There's been great moments. There's been very tough moments, very low moments. I've had these swings all over the place this week. Um, Luckily, I've deeply connected with somebody that I care a lot about a lot, and I'm happy. I'm excited, right? I feel like I feel like the tools I've been learning have been really, really, truly helping me, and there's been many changes, um, and that there's processes involved, and it's not always that instant. I need something instantly. I want that instant, you know, feel, right? I'm okay with just being at that moment. Um,
I was just going to say, I think that the difference for us, especially you, I mean, I'm feeling it too, is that like the adaptability piece is there. Like it's much more, um, not that you're not going through the emotions, at least this is how I feel. Not like I'm not going through the emotions of the week, the ups and downs of the week, and the, the different things that come your way, whether it's kids and homeschooling or scheduling different clients or letdowns or ups, whatever it is. But it's my like resilience in that. So I had a really stuck part of this week that was pretty awful, and I got out of it. And there's
Kenny, always Kenny, always
and
Kenny.
yes, he's the most supportive. He's such a love bug. And I feel like, that agility, so that ability to switch gears is becoming a little bit easier. So I don't know if it's the work that I'm doing or the processing is happening differently, but for me, like it's easier, it's becoming easier to deal with setbacks from doing the work.
I think for me, right, where I'm noticing the difference is, yes, adaptability is a great word, but it's also that I'm allowing, right? I'm not fully getting sucked into the ups or downs, but I'm allowing to process them, and I'm allowing them to flow. And I think it's a healthier way for me to handle it because of the way I am. You
Yeah,
know, I'm such a deep, deep empath, and I feel everything, which is just sometimes torturous.
it
Um,
is.
and it sometimes scares other people because, I feel what they don't want me to feel a lot of times, so that doesn't make it better. Um, it's there's so much tension with people when they engage with me in one way or another a lot of times, because they feel the love and they feel the unconditional love that I bring, but it's hard to accept when you've never felt it before, right? It's hard to allow that feeling upon yourself, right? And you
Well,
know
I think people feel, Mike, I think when people feel that kind of love from you, I get a feeling like it's strange to them. It feels awkward because there aren't that many people truly that have really experienced, I think, full-blown unconditional love. And when they feel that, it feels false or fake or like it's not going to last, or it's confusing to people. I mean, I love similarly to the way that you do. I love really, really hard, and it is incredible with certain aspects of life, and it's also really, really, really painful in other times because you feel everything so incredibly deeply that I'm like you. I My whole life I was told I was oversensitive, and don't be so sensitive, don't be dramatic. And it's like, can't help the way that I feel. Like I feel the depths of things the way that I feel them. I wish I didn't a lot of the time. Um so, at least in my experience, I think people are sometimes taken aback by being loved like that.
That was me unscrewing the top of my cap a little because there's too much pressure. That was that face. No, I agree with you, right? And being told my whole life that it's wrong to be that way,
Yeah, shamed
uh,
because
shamed, guilted, like just completely put down for it, right? I mean, we've talked about me crying all the time. We've talked about me being overly emotional. I'm that way because I feel so much, right? I mean, I
and
feel, yeah,
it is superpower. It is. It's just you have to learn how to channel it. And not you, but one has to learn how to channel it, right? And when you can learn how to channel something like that, it can be used as your power. But just like, when you don't know how to use your power, it's misguided, it's misused, it's mistaken.
yes.
If And so when that's what I mean by agility, sort of learning how to adapt to those really, really, really strong feelings and learning where they should go and where you're putting your energy and where you're not.
Well, and another thing that I've noticed over the years, right, now that I'm really like looking back and identifying how I feel and how I felt and what I've gone through and positions I've put myself in, like whenever I've abandoned myself and stuff, a lot of people don't know how to accept what I give, right?
Right.
Like they
That's
don't, they
it.
have, yeah, they have no clue. It terrifies them
Yeah.
because one, they're not used to it, and two, how can it be real? And why do I deserve it,
Right.
right?
And so many people, you have to, in order to accept love like that, truly, you have to love yourself. You have to have self love and self worth to accept love like that. And when you don't, which most people really don't have the self worth that they should, I think it's really hard to accept that kind of love because you don't feel you deserve it, like you said.
And it's tough, right? Because you're talking, what me and you were talking about is deeper than surface love, right? It's deeper than I'm in love with you. It's deeper than those things because for me, it goes all the way down to my soul,
Yeah.
right? Like it is who I am, right? It's really just me, right? It's just who I am. And if somebody doesn't love themselves that deeply as well, then on multiple levels, it's going to get deflected, pushed to the side, whatever, right? And it's difficult. It's such a predicament to be in because finding somebody who can accept it or people that can accept it, right? Like I'm very fortunate that my circle that I've created recently, my inner circle is beyond accepting of who I am, right? Like they truly do love me back and they truly do show it in the best of ways that they can, right? And I accept that in return because I'm starting to love myself. So it's different. I'm finally hitting that point in my life, which is an amazing thing, right? Um, like a month ago, I don't even know how long it was ago. I have no, but I think the first time I ever said I love myself, I was on the phone with you talking about a topic that wasn't even relevant,
Yeah.
but it just came out of my mouth and like I couldn't even believe I said it. Like it was the most
Yeah.
shocking thing I think I've ever said.
Well, it's so opposite of how you felt for so long, you know? It's
Yeah.
strange. It's a strange sort of, you know, you're sort of wondering, like, do I embrace this or what do I do with it? It's kind of strange. It's a totally different feeling to have that for the first time at 40 or 41 or doing the work and it hits you like, wait a minute, I do have worth and I am worth.
It was very surreal that moment, right? And it was this moment that I think really shifted many things for me because I started finally giving myself credit and understanding and appreciating the fact that I did and that I have loved myself in ways and I just never really accepted it,
Hmm.
right? Um, but this week has just been very heavy, right? This has been a very deep week for me. Like there's been very deep reflective moments, there's been very deep contemplative moments. There's been very deep, just emotions pouring out of me in every way possible.
But what
Because I'm
I saw from you was patience with the emotions. I mean, I didn't know every emotion you were going through, obviously, but I saw you sit with them. And for so long, I saw you not do that.
Yeah, it's been a complete switch, right? Like I'm not trying to deflect them on somebody else anymore, right? So now I'm accepting them, I'm allowing them, I'm processing them. I mean, last night was a horrible night for me, and I even said it on my live last night. Granted, my live last night was 5 minutes, and it was at 8:15 to 8:20 instead of my normal,
Mm-hmm.
um, because I was so just exhausted. I was just fried. I felt like I was just like I had nothing left. Like I
And that's
really just
like, that's okay. Like, I think that's what you've come to terms with too. Like, that's all right. You're allowed to be fried and have nothing left. And that's when you go to bed. That's like your
yeah,
body and telling you, it's time to shut it down. And what I've noticed just with you is just your acceptance of your feelings more. And it's nice to see, because it was hard to see that struggle when you didn't accept your feelings and you wouldn't let them sit for a minute with you. Oh, we
yeah.
love
We love you too, Kenny.
we do.
Um, I never sat with them. I never was. I would never allow myself to sit with anything, actually, just even sit, right? Like, I mean, I never lived in the moment ever. And that is, that's the beginning of the real change, was being able to be in the moment, you know, like yesterday, cooking the cake with my kids, the day before, making cookies with my kids, making them burgers last night,
Going to the
even,
playground, going on the
huh?
swing, going to the
Yeah,
going on the slide and stuff.
right. Crawling up the jungle gym, which was kind of entertaining. But I mean, like all the crazy stuff, but it's so much fun. It when you're in that moment and you're just living, it's fun.
It's funny, Michael. Today I was on the phone with a client, and we were discussing what it is I do. And I had this, not a revelation, because I've said it to other clients and prospective clients before, but it's very, very, very hard for me. I'm not wired to be in the moment. Like, I preach and living with attitude, and I
Sorry,
believe.
it's my water cup isn't working at all.
Oh,
Go ahead.
I live
And
it
here,
and I breathe it, and but I need everybody to understand that that's a practice for me. Like, that's not that's like it has been a struggle for me. Uh-oh.
go see what Tommy and Sheldon are doing. They're awake. Go see what they're doing. Okay. Thanks for the
Um,
help.
so,
No.
so it isn't like something that's easy for me to do. So when I say, I'm talking to clients, and I'm meeting with people, and I'm talking about like being in the moment, this doesn't come easy to me. This is taking me to be centered and in the moment and mindful is a lot of work. So I want people to know that, like, I'm not wired like this hippy dippy sort of, yeah, man, like I'm all centered and in the moment and zen. Like, that's not how I am. So it really takes me a lot of focus and time and energy and mindfulness to be the way that I am with you right now. Um,
But but one thing I will say about you, right? Like in as long as I've known you, one thing that you're very good at is taking time for yourself. And you journal and you write and you do a lot of those things, right? Like you're running for the training for the 5K. Like you do these things that boost you in that direction. And
yeah,
you do a lot of it for yourself.
thank you. And that's part of my mindfulness piece, but the whole point is, that I want people to understand, like, don't just hear and say, oh, I can't do that. I can't stop and be in the moment. I can't be mindful. Like, yes, you can. If I can, you can. So my message, like, that if these two people on the phone right now can stop and be in the moment, that you and I are talking right now, and these are two people that are truly not wired to be
No.
centered and moment and mindful, just not born like that, not raised like that, not wired that way, then if we can do it, then anybody can do it. And when you do that, you truly do start to appreciate life more. I mean, that's how I feel.
100%. And yes, Kenny, we don't have the monopoly on not being in the moment. Um, but what we do have is we've built ourselves support networks to help us. We've built ourselves people that we trust implicitly. and that, accept us as we are, right? No matter what the circumstance is, we just
Yep.
get accepted. And then we also have done work, and a lot of it, right? Like,
Yep.
we've there's been a lot of effort put into this, right? Like, I know for me it's a short period of time, but like I was doing double, triple time work in that short period of time.
Yeah.
You know,
You
it's
have
the it,
you have to keep it
yeah,
up. You keep it consistent and keep it going because it won't stick. It won't stay. It's a practice daily. And you'll find yourself slipping, just like I find myself slipping, and I just pull myself back. That's all you can do is pull yourself back to center. I mean, there's going to be times when I'm not mindful. There's going to be times when I'm not centered, and there's going to be times when I don't love myself as much as I should, which you've pointed out to me. So it's all about pulling yourself back in and refocusing on the moment and the breath.
yeah. I mean, I talked about that in my video this morning where I decided not to tag anybody, right? About how this week I felt myself slipping a little bit, and a lot of it was because I wasn't doing what I had to do for me, and that came down to really sleep. I just wasn't getting the sleep that I needed. It went from sleeping 6 hours a night for 2 weeks, 3 weeks straight to next day one day I'm sleeping 5 hours a night, the next day I'm sleeping 4.5 hours a night, then 3.5 hours, and then
So good.
yesterday was
That's so good that you're aware of that because a lot of times I'll hit a wall. Sleep is my biggest flaw when it comes to my self-care. Sleep is really terrible. I slip all the time, and that's good that you realize that as soon as you got good.
well, it hit me last night, right? Like when I was so emotional last night and I was so overwhelmed, I started really identifying what I was doing. And I really, I guess this is where the over analytical mind comes in handy rather
Yeah,
than a negative against me.
yeah.
And I really started identifying what I started doing different as the week went on, right? And it was every day I felt like I lost a little piece of myself.
Mm.
Um, and every day I felt like I was missing something. And it just, like, I guess at some point it became that I slipped into old habits because of it. Now, I still did my daily routine and I was still doing the work and I still did those things, which I think is what saved me from really falling on my face,
Yeah.
having those tools. But
But
I
again,
wasn't really,
talks about the start of this, the agility and the ability to get back and adapt and be flexible and get back to your routine. Whereas instead of crumbling, instead of falling, you
yeah.
might stumble. That's okay. So I think that's important to note too.
Well, and I think, I use Claude Silver term, right, which is fall forward because, yeah, I fell, but when I got up, it was forward, right? It wasn't a backwards fall because what it did was it started teaching me the warning signs of moving that direction, right? And making choices. Sid, leave the dishwasher. Never mind. Um, and making choices. Sid, go in the room, please. All right, I'm shutting the TV. Yeah,
Maybe
not yet.
we
It's I was really on a good thought here. Um, but what I realized is as much as something was missing this week, I also taught myself so much because the tools I have put in place, I was able to, even though I felt like I was lacking something or missing something or I didn't feel whole for those few days, it I didn't regret the decision of anything that I've done this week at all because it was worth whatever it was and always forever will be.
and you
Right?
grew
Huh?
and you grew from it.
I did. And it was a tremendous learning experience. And the fact that I was able to come back and resolve that issue in an adult, relatable way and not have hissy fits or fall backwards into my old habits.
It's a testament to the work you've done.
It definitely is. It is, and it means so much that with the group of people around me that I have that I trust implicitly, because I trust my group right now. I trust any one of them with my life
Mm-hmm.
and with children's well-being completely. And
That's
I don't
special.
I don't think I've ever been in this situation to where it's like that. I don't think I've ever had such a group of people around me that I just have this love, compassion, and no, I have no selfish motivation behind it at all in any way, shape, or form. And it's a completely different. No, Sydney, that's 20 eggs. Okay, look, she's literally taking 20 eggs out of the fridge.
It's
No egg.
time. Let's.
It's bedtime. Let's cut
It's
this off because
all right.
let me let me get her in bed. I know
All
this was
right.
a good conversation though, but
Oh,
maybe we'll
great
fill
conversation. It was great. We'll talk later. Okay.
it. Okay. All right. Bye, world.
Bye.